All right, so you're thinking about taking the plunge into ducted air conditioning. That's awesome. It can be a real game changer, especially if you want that consistent comfort throughout your whole house. We've been diving deep into a bunch of articles, guides, even some technical specs, all about ducted AC so you can make the right call for your needs. So most modern ducted systems use this thing called heat pump technology. You probably already know this, but you can both heat and cool your house, which is crazy efficient. It's like, think about it. In the summer, it's pulling that heat out of your house, and in the winter, it reverses. It pulls the heat from the outside air and then pumps it back in.
Exactly. And because it's moving heat rather than directly generating it, you're getting way more bang for your buck energy-wise, especially compared to those old electric heaters.
Right. And that's where a ducted system really shines. To your point about a larger home, it's not like you need a separate unit for each room. The cool air or the warm air is distributed through this network of ducts, in your walls and ceilings, so you're not stuck fighting over that one cold spot anymore. That makes me think, if you have a bigger house, wouldn't you need a bigger AC unit?
Absolutely. You got it. It's kind of like, imagine trying to cool a concert hall with just a hairdryer. Not going to happen at all. So we need to make sure you get a system with the right capacity, which is measured in kilowatts or kiloW. And don't worry, a technician will help you calculate all that, but it's good to know that it's not just about the square footage of your house. They factor in things like, ceiling height, how good your insulation is, even how many windows you have.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like a lot goes into it.
It does, but it's all about making sure you get a system that's, just right. Not too big, not too small. Otherwise, you're looking at higher bills and a system that's probably not going to last as long.
Okay, let's talk budget. How much can you expect to shell out for one of these ducted systems?
So installing a ducted system in an average-sized home, you're looking at anywhere from, say, $9,000 to $15,000.
Wow. Okay, so that's a pretty penny. What contributes to that price range? What should people be thinking about?
Well, the complexity of the installation is a big one, right? If you need to run ductwork through tricky spaces, or say you're interested in setting up different zones, like with individual temperature controls, that's going to add to the cost.
Zones? Tell me more about that. I could see how that would be beneficial, especially with a larger house.
Yeah. Imagine being able to set different temperatures for different areas of your house. You could have your bedroom nice and cool for sleeping, but keep the living room a bit warmer.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. It's not just about comfort either. It can actually lead to some significant savings on your energy bill because you're not cooling your entire house.
That's brilliant. And speaking of saving money, what about just the ongoing costs? How much does it actually cost to run a ducted system?
That's another really good point. So it's important to remember that while the initial investment can seem like, whoa, these systems are designed for energy efficiency, which can lead to some really good long-term savings. Of course, how often you're running the system plays a role, but so do things like, the climate you live in, that's a big one. How well your house is insulated, even the local energy prices in your area.
Okay, so it's kind of a balancing act. You're paying more upfront, but potentially saving on those energy costs down the road. Let's jump into those potential savings for a second, especially compared to older heating and cooling methods. How much more efficient are we talking?
So for every single unit of electricity that these modern systems consume, they can deliver up to 6 units of heat or cooling.
6 times?
6 times. It's significantly more efficient than those older systems.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so what should our listener look for to make sure they're getting the most energy efficient system? Is there some kind of rating system or something?
You'll want to look for a system with a high energy star rating. Mm-hmm. Think of it like, choosing energy efficient appliances. The more stars, the less energy it uses, which means lower bills for you.
So it's a win-win. Lower bills, better for the environment.
Absolutely. And there's even more. A lot of these systems come with all these extra features now, like timers, programmable thermostats. Even some have sensors that can automatically adjust the temperature based on whether or not someone's in the room.
Oh, wow. Now that is high tech. Now we've talked a lot about the benefits of ducted AC, but how does it stack up against other cooling options? I know you were considering other types of systems too, right?
Yeah, so split systems, they're a popular choice for sure, and they can be a bit easier on the wallet initially. However, they're really designed to cool just one room or a specific zone. So if you're after that consistent, whole home comfort, that's where the ducted system really shines.
Okay. And what about those portable AC units? Are those a viable option for a whole house?
Portable units definitely have their place, like if you're renting, or maybe you only need to cool down a single room. But they're not as efficient as ducted systems, and they certainly can't cool your entire house effectively.
Okay, so it sounds like for your needs, with potentially a larger home, wanting that even cooling throughout, ducted AC might be the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might cost a bit more up front, but the long-term energy savings and that comfort it provides could be well worth it.
I agree. But we also need to think about maintenance, which is crucial for any system you invest in.
That's a great point. It might not be the most glamorous part, but trust me, just like with a car, a little bit of regular TLC can save you from some major headaches and expenses down the road.
100%. And the good news is taking care of these systems isn't rocket science.
Okay, good to know. So let's break it down. What are the essential maintenance tasks that every ducted AC owner should have on their radar?
Well, just like your car needs that annual tune-up, you'll want to get a professional to service your AC system at least once a year, maybe more, depending on what the manufacturer recommends.
Right.
They'll give everything a thorough once-over, clean the components, check the refrigerant levels, that kind of thing. Catching those minor issues early can save you a whole lot of trouble and money down the line.
Makes sense. It's like a checkup for your AC.
Exactly.
Are there any other red flags people should be looking out for just in their day-to-day life that might indicate their AC system needs a little bit of extra attention?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Pay attention to what your system's telling you, If you start hearing any strange noises, if the temperature feels inconsistent, or say your energy bill suddenly goes through the roof, don't ignore those signs.
It's like that weird rattling sound your car makes right before it decides to leave you stranded on the side of the road.
Exactly. Those are often early warning signs that something's up. And addressing them early can really save you a world of hurt.
Okay, so we've covered keeping things running smoothly, but what about those energy bills? I know you're keen on saving money, and we talked about how efficient these systems are, but are there any other pro tips for really maximizing those savings?
Absolutely. And honestly, your thermostat is your best friend when it comes to saving money.
Okay, thermostat strategy. I'm all ears. What are the magic numbers we should be aiming for?
So for heating in the winter, try setting your thermostat between 18 and 20 degrees Celsius.
18 to 20, got it. Cozy and cost-effective. Now, what about the summer when it's sweltering outside?
When it comes to cooling, aim for a comfortable 24 to 26 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Because every degree cooler you go, it puts a strain on your system and your wallet.
Right. No need to turn the house into a fridge.
Exactly. And that's where zoning can be really powerful.
Oh, zoning. Tell me more.
Remember you mentioned potentially having a larger home. Well, imagine if you could adjust the temperature in different areas based on, who's home and what rooms they're using.
Right.
Say you work from home and you only need your office cool during the day, zoning can be a game changer.
Yeah.
You're not wasting energy cooling your whole house when you're just in one room.
So simple, but so smart. It's like turning off the lights when you leave a room.
Exactly.
Now, zoning sounds fantastic, but what about things you can do even if you don't have a zoning system, independent of the AC unit itself, to make sure you're saving as much energy as possible?
You're thinking like a true energy saver. One of the best things you can do, honestly, is make sure your home is properly insulated.
Insulation, okay.
A well-insulated house retains the heat in the winter and keeps the cool air in during the summer.
Makes sense.
Which means your AC system doesn't have to work as hard.
Less work for the AC, lower energy bills for you. Yeah. It's a win-win situation.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be anything major either. Simple things like, sealing gaps around your doors and windows with weather stripping, even investing in some thicker curtains can make a noticeable difference.
It's like putting a sweater on your house to keep it warm. Okay, so we've covered insulation. We've talked about those thermostats. Anything else? What about the future of ducted AC? Any exciting advancements on the horizon that have you geeking out?
Oh, the future's looking pretty cool, literally.
I like it.
One of the most exciting things happening is the integration of smart home technology.
Smart homes. Okay, tell me more.
So picture this. You're leaving work, it's a scorcher outside, and you're dreading going back to a stuffy house. But with just a few taps on your phone, you can have your AC system cool down your house to that perfect temperature just in time for you to get home.
That's amazing. It's like something out of a futuristic movie.
It is.
No more rushing home to turn the AC off if you forgot, or like filling with a thermostat a million times a day. What else can these smart systems do?
A lot of them are compatible with voice assistants now, like your Google Home or Alexa, so you can literally just tell your house to cool down.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
And they learn your preferences and patterns over time, automatically adjusting things for like maximum comfort and efficiency.
No more thermostat wars.
Exactly. Talk about set it and forget it, right?
Yeah. Exactly. That's amazing. Okay, smart home integration, that's super cool. What else are you geeking out about in the world of AC?
Well, we're also seeing a big push for more eco-friendly refrigerants.
Okay, so back up for a second. What are refrigerants and why should our listeners care about them?
So refrigerants are these special fluids inside your AC system that absorb and transfer heat. They're what actually make that cooling process possible.
Okay.
Older refrigerants, while they worked pretty well, often contain chemicals that weren't so great for the environment.
Yeah. Not ideal.
No, but the good news is the industry is really moving towards refrigerants that have a lower global warming potential, or GWP.
So lower GWP is a good thing.
It's a very good thing for the planet.
Now, are these new refrigerants as effective at cooling our homes?
That's the great part. Not only are they better for the environment, they can actually be even more efficient, which means more savings on your energy bills.
So it's a win-win for your wallet and the planet.
Exactly.
This has been incredibly informative. I feel like we've covered so much ground today.
We have. We've talked about how these systems work, the sizing, the costs, energy efficiency, all those essential maintenance tips, what to look out for, even what the future holds.
Before we wrap up our ducted AC deep dive, we need to talk about installation, especially since it can be a little more involved depending on, well, where you live.
Right, because not all homes are created equal when it comes to these systems. Like single-family homes with attics or basements, those usually offer a bit more flexibility for running ductwork.
Which could be relevant for you since you mentioned you might have a larger house. But what about, say, apartments or townhouses? Places where space might be a bit more limited. What happens then?
Yeah, that's where things can get a little, interesting. You might need to think outside the box with the installation, and sometimes you even need to get permission from landlords or building management. It's not always a given.
Oh, okay. So it's not just a free-for-all if you're in an apartment. You can't just go poking holes everywhere.
Exactly. And noise levels can be a factor too, especially if that outdoor unit is close to your neighbor's place. You don't want to be that neighbor.
So it's not just the technical stuff. There's some logistical and even like social considerations, especially in those multi-dwelling situations.
Absolutely. But the good news is, even if you are in an apartment or townhouse, there are usually solutions. There are systems specifically designed for those environments. It's all about finding an experienced professional who can really assess your unique needs and figure out the best fit.
That's good to know. Okay, so we covered a ton of information today about ducted AC systems, but if you had to pick, what are the top 3 takeaways you want our listener to walk away with?
Okay, so number 1. Ducted systems, they're like the gold standard for whole home comfort, right? So if you want that even, consistent cooling throughout your entire house, ducted AC is the way to go.
No more hot spots.
Exactly. No more arguing over the thermostat. Second takeaway, yeah, that initial investment can seem a little scary, but it's just that, an investment. These systems are designed for energy efficiency, so you'll likely see those savings down the line on your energy bills.
Like they say, you got to spend money to make money.
There you go. And then finally, don't underestimate the power of zoning. If you can swing it, if your system allows for it, it gives you so much control over not only your comfort, but also your energy usage. If you have a guest room that rarely gets used, you can adjust that temperature, save some energy instead of cooling down the entire house when no one's in there.
Zoning. It's like having a personalized climate control system for your home. I love it.
Exactly.
Well, this has been incredibly informative. We hope you feel empowered to make the right decision for your needs.
Do your research. Ask lots of questions.
Yes. And most importantly, stay cool. That's a wrap on another episode of The Deep Dive.
Until next time.
We'll see you next time, folks.